What's up, y'all? Alright, I'm gonna need y'all to do me a favor real quick. If we could all just join hands and bow our heads, and we're all gonna pray. This is the last R. Kelly video that I ever have to make. So for some reason, Mr. Kelly thought that it would be a really great idea to go on CBS News. I want to clear some things up right off the bat. I'm not against R. Kelly. I do not hate R. Kelly. It would be way too easy to just sit here and criticize R. Kelly. So that's not what we're here to do. Again, I don't hate the guy. I do not want to see his music career destroyed. This is why it's an important story to me. As a business person, I see R. Kelly's online music sales going up. Basically, I just don't buy the common spin that's going to be given on this story. Let's hear what R. Kelly has to say.
I'm surprised that you agreed to do it. Why are you sitting down with us today?
I'm very tired of all of the lies. I've been hearing things and seeing things on the blogs, and I'm just tired.
As this interview goes on, you're going to start to see why R. Kelly doesn't do more public appearances.
The lies that you're hearing that disturb you most.
Oh my God.
So let's hear R. Kelly pretty much make the case of his accusers for them.
Got little girls trapped in the basement, helicopters over my house, trying to rescue someone that doesn't need rescuing because they're not in my house, handcuffing people, starving people. I have a harem, a cult. I don't even really know what a cult is, but I know I don't have one,
Have you broken any laws when it comes to women?
Absolutely not.
What's with the whispering? Like he's scared to say it out loud.
If you really look at that documentary, which I'm sure you have.
I have.
Everybody said something bad about me. Nobody said nothing good.
Well, that's not true. A bunch of them were talking about how great of an artist you are and how great of a singer you are.
They was describing Lucifer. I'm not Lucifer. I'm a man. I make mistakes, but I'm not a devil. And by no means am I a monster.
Yeah, R. Kelly probably did some things that were illegal and terrible and abusive. And if you're in a relationship with a monster and you refuse to say anything about it and you stay in that relationship, well, I would argue that you're kind of a monster too.
That you are controlling, that you are abusive, that you tell women when to eat, when to go to the bathroom, when they can sleep, where they can dress. Why would all these women tell these different stories about you if they were not true? And they don't know each other.
Yeah, why would all these women lie? Women never lie, do they?
You can start a rumor on a guy like me or a celebrity just like that. All you have to do is push a button on your phone and say, so-and-so did this to me.
I actually agree with R. Kelly to a point with what he just said, because it is becoming increasingly easy for women to level accusations at completely innocent dudes. And this is true. Male predators that were just relationships that happened to go south.
So they're lying on you. That's your explanation. They're lying on you.
Absolutely.
Again, with this weird whispering stuff, whenever he comes to a definitive statement where he has to assert his innocence.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You feel that people have maligned your character?
I have been assassinated. I have been buried alive.
That you have never held anybody against their will?
I don't need to. Why would I?
Well,
How stupid would it be for R. Kelly, with all I've been through in my way, way past, to hold somebody, let alone 4, 5, 6, 50, you said. How stupid would I be to do that?
I didn't say you were holding...
That's stupid, guys.
I didn't...
Is this camera on me?
Yes, it's on.
That's stupid.
Gayle asks him about holding women captive, holding them hostage. This is the point where R. Kelly gets completely triggered beyond all comprehension. I have some illuminating information that will perfectly explain that, but we'll get into that later.
Oh, right now I just think I need to be a monster and hold girls against their will, chain them up in my basement, and don't let them eat and don't let them out unless they need some shoes down the street from their uncle.
I don't know about you guys, but to me that's a really weirdly, oddly specific reference to make.
This is not me, y'all. I'm fighting for my life. Y'all killing me with this.
The show begins.
I gave y'all 30 years of my career.
Robert.
30 years of my career. Y'all trying to kill me.
Calm down. You're going to destroy that beautiful, buttery smooth R&B singing voice of yours.
You're killing me, man. This is not about music. I'm trying to have a relationship with my kids, and I can't do it.
That's a good point there, too. It's not about music, but maybe a video about the melodic and harmonic analysis of Trapped in the Closet may not get as many views as a video about R. Kelly having a complete freak out on national television.
Y'all just don't want to believe the truth. You don't want to believe it.
At this point, we briefly pause the interview to give Kelly a moment.
Why would I hold all these women? Their mothers and fathers told me, we're going to destroy your career.
But I got a lot of comments about how the parents concocted this whole scheme to extract money out of them. And in this video, I'm not really going to get into that type of speculation because all we're hearing this from is R. Kelly. Now, if any of y'all out there have some sources on this and can give me some evidence to make the case, I will definitely hear you out.
Kelly's emotions remained raw.
It's real girls out there missing. It's real young girls out there being abducted.
Another good point here, and I agree with R. Kelly on this one as well. How many stories of other women who are actually victims, how many stories of those are going under the radar because the media wants to talk about R. Kelly?
Really are on chains. They really do have chains on their wrists, and they can't get out. Robert, and they're ending up buried in deep.
Robert,
Like, dude, this is a television interview. This is not a recording session. It's not some song you can design in your brain and go back and fix it in the mix later. And like we say in the studio, garbage in, garbage out.
I need help.
What kind of help?
This is the kind of help I need.
Yes, what kind of help?
I need somebody to help me not have a big heart because my heart is so big.
Going and cruising for young girls, I don't think it's your big heart that they have to worry about.
It's because this is the first time I was able to say
speak.
something. Jocelyn Savage. He brought her and asked a friend of mine to put her on the stage with R. Kelly. Make sure she's on the stage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, make sure she's on the stage, not locked up in handcuffs in your basement.
Well, joining me now is Renee Graham. She's an associate editor and columnist at the Boston Globe. Renee, I know you've been following R. Kelly's story very closely. I'm so grateful you could join us today.
A lot of what she says is spin and it's complete nonsense. But she does make some good points here and there, and so I'll be focusing on those.
From Gayle King's interview, what really stood out to you, Renee?
You know, what was shocking to me about the interview is I think that R. Kelly and his people perhaps thought this would be able to paint him as a more sympathetic figure. And if that was the goal, I think it failed miserably. I think that there's a sense that, you know, it isn't just about the money anymore with R. Kelly, that as someone to be affiliated with him, he's a bit of a liability. So, you know, he may get another bump on certain streaming services, and there may be a curiosity factor there. But I want to believe that the career R. Kelly has had for the last 30 years is effectively over.
And so what you're saying here is that women are watching this documentary about R. Kelly being a criminal and a predator, and they're curious about that. So I'm pretty much done with this video. We don't have to look at this anymore. This curiosity factor is fascinating to me. 50 Shades of Grey. I mean, am I the only one that thinks it's strange that is the most popular movie to women? What does it say about these women that they stayed with R. Kelly for years and years and years and years and supported him and loved him? Why are women drawn to him so much? Why do we have so many people that are so, quote unquote, curious about R. Kelly who have never met him before, probably never will? First and foremost, where in the world did R. Kelly learn this behavior from? And what I found out is that R. Kelly was sexually abused himself when he was growing up. Guess who he was abused by in his family? Well, it was his older sister. R. Kelly's brother also did an interview and corroborated all of this and went into way more gruesome detail. Not only that, but his mother had convinced R. Kelly and his brothers that his sister could do no wrong. And if they ever tried to snitch on her, that mom would be looking for a reason why it was the boy's fault. We have R. Kelly being abused by his 16-year-old sister, and now he's obsessed with 16-year-old young girls. Terrible way to be treated by the women in his family growing up. So if you want to talk to me about brainwashing and manipulation, let's talk about the brainwashing and manipulation that R. Kelly's sister and R. Kelly's mother had enacted. This dude clearly learned this behavior from the older women in his family. This is not a get-out-of-jail-free card for R. Kelly. He's simply continuing the same cycle of abuse and psychological manipulation that his mother and his sister taught to him. So this story is very much about the ramifications of childhood abuse taking effect on a massive celebrity-sized scale. What makes these women want to stay with R. Kelly? For a lot of these young women, becoming one of R. Kelly's closet thoughts is a huge upgrade for any average, boring young lady. They're approached by R. Kelly, this extremely high status, extremely high value male figure. They feel like they've won the jackpot. They feel like they've just won the lottery, the Mega Millions, the publisher's clearinghouse, right? So this is what makes them more susceptible, more vulnerable. And like I said, they absolutely have agency. But when you're that young, you're just more susceptible to it. They have this fantasy of convincing R. Kelly to quit playing ball and smoking cigars and playing shows, and they want him to become their personal little cuddle cup. These women are like trying actively to convince themselves that the dude they're with is a good guy, on top of the manipulation that's already taking part from R. Kelly. It's this whole abuse allegation thing, and this whole idea of R. Kelly being cult leader and holding women hostage, and it's some kind of weird like fetish for these women. Like it's a weird like turn on for them, because he like gives them just this little glimmer of hope of like, oh, he'll change for them. And so we understand now where R. Kelly's learned these behaviors from. We've talked about hypergamy and how his quote-unquote victims are very much complicit. And although there's some manipulation happening on the part of R. Kelly, there's just as much manipulation on the part of these women who try to manipulate and convince themselves that R. Kelly is a desirable partner. You gotta look out for this stuff, ladies. And the men that know this about women will use it to their advantage. The bigger context lies with R. Kelly's fans, including the young women and their parents, and their willingness to overlook obvious signs of abuse and instead sing his praises as a musical genius. So, like I said last time, women love R. Kelly. Why do they want to give him money to bail him out of jail? Why do they want to give him money to buy his albums and his music about songs about him being in relationships with underage women? Why? It spikes their interest. It gets them thinking. It gets them sort of fantasizing about it. Well, what if they were one of R. Kelly's prisoners? If we keep going around and framing every situation with this like political spin, what we're doing is we're avoiding the real topics. We're avoiding the real issues, and we're talking about symptoms instead of addressing root causes here. The issue of women being turned on by being held hostage, that is not a symptom. That's a root cause. The issue of hypergamy and young girls wanting to be with a high status man like R. Kelly, root cause. R. Kelly being sexually abused himself for 8 straight years as a child, root cause. And so I'm talking about root causes here. If we think about this kind of stuff, we can avoid this. Please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell, click it twice, click it 3 times. And if you are a fan of R. Kelly, I think you would also be a fan of some of my R&B stuff on this channel. So please subscribe, leave me a comment, hit like. I don't know if I'm ever going to have another video that gets as many views as my other R. Kelly video, but hopefully this one's a close second. R. Kelly might be violent and abusive and a complete bumbling idiot, but he's not tricking you into buying more of his music. He's not tricking young women to, for the first time in history, become attracted to older, rich, powerful musical icons. This does not require trickery, hocus pocus, wizardry, nothing of the sort. And I really think this is why so many women loved my last video, because I'm speaking to women and about women like they know what's up. Like at least men and women and couples all over the place can come together on this R. Kelly crap and be like, wow, our relationship ain't that bad. Like, don't try to over contextualize it by bringing up skin deep, hippy dippy, coastal Hollywood celebrity non-points about your melanin percentage. The time will come when babbling about your skin color will no longer get you clicks. It will not be edgy enough. I'm trying to think forward. Like, my take is for the next 50 years. And so the way forward, in my opinion, is to get people to question all the dogma, and mainstream dictums, and spin that we're being fed on a constant basis. And I hope that I'm able to bring a progressive view rather than a regressive one. And I challenge everybody out there. Look at the odd angles. Figure out the bigger picture. And that is how you get the money.